Attachment begins with a simple feeling. I want. It may be something small, like wanting a cup of tea, or something larger, like wanting success, love, or control. The desire itself is not wrong. But when we hold on too tightly, suffering starts to grow. In life, we often believe that having more will make us happy. More money, more friends, more power. But this is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you close your fingers, the more it slips away. This is the nature of attachment. It brings fear, fear of losing, fear of not having, and fear creates pain in the heart. From a Buddhist view, everything in life changes. Nothing stays the same. Our bodies, our thoughts, even the people we love. But our minds don't like change. We try to stop it. We try to keep things the way they are. We say, "This is mine," or "I need this to be happy." These thoughts create chains, and those chains keep us from being free. Sometimes people ask, if I don't hold on to anything, won't I feel empty? The truth is the opposite. When we stop clinging, we feel light. We feel open, like a bird flying without a cage. This doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop controlling. We learn to love, but not to trap. We enjoy, but we don't demand. To understand attachment, we must look inside. Notice when your mind says, "I must have this." Ask gently, why? What are you afraid of? What are you hoping for? This is not a test. It's a soft invitation. The more clearly we see our attachments, the more gently we can begin to loosen them. The roots of attachment lie deep in habit, in fear, and in misunderstanding. But if we can learn to see these roots, we can also learn to grow something new. Not coldness, not distance, but a peaceful heart that knows how to let things come and let them go. We often say things like, my house, my car, my time, or even my life. These words are normal in daily conversation, but they hide a deeper idea, the belief that we can truly own something. In truth, nothing belongs to us forever. Think about the body. We say, my body, but it changes every day. It ages. It gets sick. One day, it will stop working. Do we really own it? Or are we simply using it for a short time? In this way, the body is like a candle. We can enjoy its light, but we cannot keep it burning forever. The same is true for things we buy. A new phone, a beautiful piece of art, a house by the ocean. They all bring joy, yes, but only for a while. Then they break, fade, or lose their charm. If we believe we own these things forever, we suffer when they change or disappear. But if we understand that we are only borrowing them, even for a moment, we can enjoy them without fear. Possession is not just about objects. It is also about people. We say, my child, my partner, or my friend. But people are not things. They are living beings with their own paths. When we try to possess others, we hurt them and ourselves. True connection comes not from control, but from respect. This idea is not easy. In many cultures, having more is seen as success. People are taught to collect, to own, to show their value through what they have. But when we look closely, this only creates more pressure, more worry, more fear of loss. Freedom comes when we release this illusion. We still live, still love, still work. But we do so with open hands. Like holding sand, if we squeeze, it slips away. If we hold it gently, it stays for a while, then moves on. To let go of possession is not to give up joy. It is to find a joy that does not depend on owning. A joy that lives quietly inside, even when the world outside is always changing. Why do we suffer? This is one of the oldest and deepest questions in human life. In Buddhism, We often say that suffering comes from desire, especially the desire to hold on. We want things to stay the same. We want people to act a certain way. We want the world to follow our plan. But the world does not listen to our wants. It moves in its own way. Imagine holding a rope tightly. The more you pull, the more your hands begin to hurt. The rope is not trying to hurt you, but your grip creates pain. In the same way, our mental grip, our strong attachment, brings suffering. It is not the world that causes pain. It is how we respond to it. We may think, if I hold on harder, I won't lose anything. But the truth is, everything changes, no matter how hard we try. A loved one grows older. A job ends. A dream does not come true. When we cannot accept these changes, we feel lost. We feel broken. But what if we learn to open our hands, even just a little? Letting go does not mean we stop caring. It means we stop fighting what we cannot control. When we stop resisting, the pain becomes softer. It does not disappear, but it does not crush us. Sometimes we are afraid that if we let go, nothing good will come. We think desire is the same as love. But true love is quiet and kind. It allows space. It does not try to trap or force. When we release the need to hold on tightly, we begin to feel peace. Not because life is perfect, but because we are no longer pushing against it. Desire says, I must have this. Wisdom says, let me see what comes. This shift is gentle, but powerful. It is like the difference between a stormy sea and a calm lake. Both have water, but one is filled with struggle, and the other with clarity. We suffer because we hold on. We find peace when we begin to let go. This is not a lesson learned in one day. It is a quiet path, walked step by step with patience and trust. Change is always happening. The seasons change. Our bodies change. Our thoughts and emotions change. Sometimes the change is slow, like the aging of a tree. Sometimes it comes suddenly, like a wave crashing on the shore. But always, life moves. It never stays still. Many people fear change. We feel safe when things stay the same. We make plans. We create routines. We build a life that feels solid. But even the strongest wall can break. Even the calmest day can turn into a storm. This is not a failure. It is simply the way of life. When we fear change, we often try to stop it. We hold tightly to the past. We worry about the future. We say, I want things to go back, or I hope this never ends. These thoughts are natural, but they do not help us feel peace. They only create more worry. Instead, we can learn to observe change without fear. This means watching it, like clouds moving across the sky. We do not try to stop the clouds. We do not cry when they pass. We simply notice and allow. To do this, we must learn to pause. When something changes, take a moment. Feel your breath. Notice your reaction. Are you resisting? Are you angry or sad or scared? That is okay. But try not to act too quickly. Let the feeling rise and fall. Change is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Some changes bring pain. Others bring joy. But both are part of the same river. If we try to only keep the joy and avoid the pain, we miss the whole truth. All things flow. All things come and go. When we stop fearing change, we begin to feel more free. We are no longer fighting life. We are riding with it. We become like a boat that moves with the current, not against it. We do not sink. We float. Watching change without fear is not cold. It is clear. It means we live each moment fully, knowing it will not last. And because it will not last, it becomes even more precious. Impermanence is not just a deep idea for monks or philosophers. It is something we can see every day if we are willing to look. A flower blooms then fades. A hot meal grows cold. A child grows into an adult. Nothing stays the same. And yet, we often forget this truth. Many problems in daily life come from wanting things to last forever. We want a good moment to stay. We want a bad moment to go away quickly. We become unhappy when life does not follow our wishes. But life has its own rhythm. When we fight it, we suffer. When we accept it, we find peace. Embracing impermanence does not mean we give up or stop caring. It means we live more fully. When we know that something will not last, we treasure it more. A quiet morning, a warm smile, even a simple cup of tea. These small things become beautiful, not because they last, but because they don't. Sometimes we think, if nothing lasts, what's the point? But that question comes from fear, not wisdom. Impermanence gives life meaning. If we lived forever, we might take things for granted. But because time moves forward, each moment becomes a gift. Each moment is something we can hold gently, even if just for a short while. In daily life, we can remind ourselves, this too will change. When we feel joy, we can enjoy it without trying to freeze it. When we feel pain, we can breathe and remember, it will not stay forever. This helps us not to overreact, not to hold on too tightly, not to fall into despair. We can also practice letting go of small things. An old shirt, a plan that didn't work out, a mistake from yesterday. These are chances to trust life's flow. They are small steps toward a lighter heart. Living with impermanence is not always easy, but it is honest. And in that honesty, we can find something strong and kind. A way of living that welcomes each moment as it is, without needing it to be different. When we embrace impermanence in daily life, we stop chasing, we stop resisting, and we start simply being, with all that comes and all that goes. One of the strongest forms of attachment is our identity, who we think we are. We say, I am this kind of person. I am strong. I am successful. I am a parent. I am someone who always helps others. These labels feel safe. They give us a sense of meaning. But they can also become a cage. The ego loves to hold on to identity. It builds stories about ourselves. It says this is me, and that is not me. But who we are is always changing. The child becomes an adult. The student becomes a teacher. The healthy person becomes sick. None of these roles stay forever. When we believe too strongly in a fixed identity, we begin to suffer. If something challenges that identity, we feel lost or attacked. If we think, I am a kind person, and then one day we feel anger, we might say, this should not be happening. But all humans feel many emotions. No single feeling defines who we are. The ego also compares. It says, I am better than this person, or I am worse than that one. These thoughts are painful. They create distance between us and others. They make us feel proud or ashamed, instead of connected and humble. To loosen the ego's grip, we can start by watching the stories we tell ourselves. We can ask, is this really who I am, or just a role I am playing right now? A role is not wrong. A mother is still a mother. A teacher still teaches. But behind each role is something deeper, a quiet, open awareness that is not limited by names or titles. Letting go of ego does not mean we lose ourselves. It means we find something more true, something that does not depend on success, failure, praise, or blame. Something that remains even when everything else changes. When we stop clinging to identity, we feel lighter. We are not trying so hard to prove something. We are not afraid of change. We can meet each moment with honesty and softness. The ego says, I must protect this idea of me. But the heart says, I am here, just as I am, with no need to pretend. In a world filled with noise and speed, many people feel tired. Our lives are full, too full. There are too many choices, too many tasks, too many things to think about. We are always doing something, going somewhere, trying to stay ahead. But often, we do not feel calm. We feel lost. Simplicity is not just about having fewer things. It is about having more space, inside and outside. When we let go of what we don't truly need, we make room for peace. We can breathe more easily. We can see more clearly. We can listen without rushing. In daily life, we often carry too much. Not just objects, but also worries, plans, regrets, and expectations. These things feel heavy. They fill the mind and cloud the heart. But many of them are not necessary. Many are habits we never questioned. We hold on simply because we always have. Choosing simplicity is a gentle act. It is not about punishment or giving up joy. It is about choosing what matters. When we eat with care. When we speak with honesty. When we rest, we allow true rest. Life becomes more quiet, not boring, but clear. Sometimes people think simple means small or weak. But true simplicity has strength. A mountain is simple. A clear sky is simple. Their power does not come from noise, but from stillness. In the same way, a simple life can be strong. It can hold us when the world outside feels too loud. To find peace in simplicity, we must ask ourselves, what is enough? Enough money, enough praise, enough doing. This question brings us back to the heart. It reminds us that we do not need more to feel whole. We need less rush, less pressure, less trying to be something we are not. A quiet room, a kind word, a moment of silence. These are small things, but they hold deep peace. We do not need to search far. Peace is not hiding. It is just under the noise. When we live simply, we honor life as it is. We let go of what is extra, and in doing so, we discover what is real. Every day we expect many things. We expect people to be kind. We expect the weather to be good. We expect our plans to go smoothly. When life matches our expectations, we feel satisfied. But when it does not, we feel upset, disappointed, or angry. This cycle repeats again and again. Expectations are like invisible strings. We may not see them, but they pull at our hearts. They create pressure, both for ourselves and for others. We think, it must be this way, and when it isn't, we suffer. Living without demands or expectations does not mean we have no direction. It means we remain open to how things actually are. We can still hope, still make plans, still care, but we release the tight grip. We stop saying, it has to be this way. Instead we say, let's see what happens. When we demand too much from life, we lose the ability to enjoy what is already here. We are always looking ahead, always measuring, always judging. But when we stop demanding, the present moment begins to shine. A simple meal tastes better. A quiet afternoon feels rich. A conversation becomes a gift, not a task. Expectations also hurt relationships. When we expect others to act a certain way, we stop seeing them as they are. We see only our idea of them. This creates distance. But when we accept people without trying to change them, love becomes more real. It flows more freely. Letting go of expectations does not mean we become passive. It means we become flexible. Like bamboo in the wind, we bend without breaking. We adapt. We respond to life instead of trying to control it. Of course, this is not always easy. The mind likes control. It wants to predict and plan. But life is not a machine. It is more like a river. We can't force it to move how we want. We can only learn how to move with it. To live without demands is to trust. To trust that life, even when it is uncertain, can still offer beauty. not because it gives us everything we want, but because we learn to meet it with gentle eyes and an open heart. Human connection is one of the most beautiful parts of life. We build bonds with family, friends, partners, and even strangers. These relationships bring joy, comfort, and a sense of belonging. But when we begin to grasp, when we try to hold people too tightly, suffering often follows. Many people think love means holding on. We say, "You are mine," or "Don't leave me." We try to keep someone close by controlling them, protecting them, or needing them to behave a certain way. But true love is not a cage. It is not built on fear or control. It is built on freedom and respect. Grasping in relationships often comes from fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of losing love. Fear of being hurt. These fears are human, but when they guide our actions, they create pressure. They turn love into something heavy, and the more we cling, the more we push others away. To love without grasping is to love with open hands. We are present. We care deeply, but we do not try to own the other person. We do not demand they act a certain way to make us feel safe. We allow them to be who they are, even if that means they change or move in a different direction. This kind of love is not weak. It is strong, because it trusts. It trusts that connection can grow when it is not forced. It trusts that letting someone go does not mean losing them. And if we do lose them, we trust that life will carry us forward with grace. In our relationships, we can practice seeing others clearly, not as how we want them to be, but as they truly are. We listen more. We expect less. We hold space instead of holding control. This creates peace, both for us and for those we care about. Love is not about grasping. It is about being fully present and allowing what is natural to unfold. When we stop clinging, our hearts become softer, our connections become deeper, and we begin to understand that the greatest love does not say, "Stay with me," but "Be free, and I will walk beside you." Life is a journey. Each day, each step, brings something new: joy, pain, success, failure, meetings, and partings. Some days we feel strong. Other days we feel lost. This is natural. The path is never straight, but how we walk it, that is what truly matters. Many people walk through life with closed hands. They hold tight to plans, to people, to ideas. They try to control the road, but no matter how tightly we hold, life continues to shift. The more we grip, the more we feel stress, fear, and disappointment. Walking with an open hand means something different. It means we are willing to receive life as it comes, without forcing it. We let go of what is heavy. We stop trying to carry things we no longer need. We allow space for the unexpected. An open hand is a symbol of trust, not blind hope, but quiet confidence. It says, "I will walk, even if I don't know what comes next. I will stay steady, even if the road is rough. I will not shut myself off from life, even when it hurts." This path is not cold or distant. It is full of feeling, but without clinging. We feel deeply, but we do not become trapped. We care, but we do not control. We move forward, but we are not in a rush. As we walk this way, we may notice more. A smile from a stranger, a moment of silence in the morning, a feeling of gratitude, not for what we have, but simply for being here, alive. These are quiet gifts. We do not need to chase them. They come when we are open. To walk with an open hand is also to walk lightly, not because life is easy, but because we are not weighed down. We do not need to hold everything. We do not need to know everything. We simply keep going, step by step, heart by heart. This is the way of non-attachment, not turning away from life, but walking with it gently, meeting it as it is, with kindness, courage, and an open hand. As we come to the end of this journey together, I offer a quiet reflection, not as a final answer, but as a gentle pause along the way. The path of non-attachment is not about escaping life. It is about meeting life with a soft, steady heart. Not trying to fix everything, but learning to let things be as they are. There is a quiet strength in this way of living. It does not shout. It does not rush. It simply opens space for change, for acceptance, for freedom. When we stop grasping, we begin to see clearly. We begin to rest. Letting go does not mean we feel nothing. It means we feel without fear. It means we trust that things will come and go, and that our peace does not depend on holding them in place. We no longer carry the weight of trying to control the world. Instead, we walk with care and with ease. If you find even a small piece of peace in this teaching, I am deeply grateful. These words are offered like a cup of warm tea, simple, quiet, and meant to be shared. I would also like to express heartfelt thanks to everyone who supports this space. For those who take a moment to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, to share your thoughts in the comments, or to send kindness through super thanks. Please know that your presence is felt and deeply appreciated. It brings me joy to know that these reflections reach people across the world, and that even through a screen, we can sit together for a while in stillness. That is a kind of connection that goes beyond distance. May the path ahead be gentle. May you find steadiness in the middle of change, and may your hands remain open, ready to receive, ready to release. Thank you for walking this part of the journey with me.